Biti član žirije za Evropski avto leta prinaša obveznosti, pa tudi privilegije. Velikokrat imamo namreč možnost, da v avto sedemo in ga preizkusimo med prvimi avtomobilističnimi novinarji na svetu, in tudi tokrat je bilo tako, ko smo sedli v novi Fiat 500.
Uradna predstavitev novega Fiat 500 bo sicer šele sredi oktobra, a ker so se pri Fiatu odločili za drugačen pristop razkritja novega malčka, smo ga že lahko preizkusili na ulicah Torina, ki so bile tokrat v nasprotju z običajno gnečo prijazno prazne. Model 500 je za Fiat zelo pomemben avto. Od leta 1957 se je zanj odločilo že več kot 6 milijonov kupcev, za novodobnega, ki je na prodaj od leta 2007, pa že več kot 2 milijona. Četudi se zdi, da je na italijanskih cestah vsak drugi avto prav Fiat 500, pa prodajne številke kažejo, da jih v Italiji ostane zgolj 20%. Tako ne čudi, da je Fiat 500 med vodilnimi po prodaji v A-segmentu, ko se je samo lani zanj odločilo skoraj 200 tisoč kupcev.
Če se sprašujete, kaj je novega, lahko enostavno odgovorim: vse. Je večji, torej daljši in širši, povsem nov tudi v notranjosti, stoji pa tudi na povsem novi platformi. In to z razlogom, saj je pogon zgolj električen.
Da so se projekta pri Fiatu lotili resno, priča tudi dejstvo, da se proizvodnja novega malčka seli domov, torej v Torino, v tovarno Mirafiori, kjer bo na proizvodnih trkovih delal družbo Maseratiju Levante. Od dosedanjega Fiata 500 je novinec daljši 61 in širši 56 mm, za 22 mm pa je daljša tudi medosna razdalja. Že na prvi pogled je novi 500e opazno večji, a je vseeno ohranil znano obliko. Prav slednja je predstavljala poseben izziv, saj se spreminjanje priljubljene oblike ponavadi ne obnese. A kot nam je zaupal vodja oblikovalske skupine pri Fiatu, Klaus Busse, je novinec ohranil znano obliko, hkrati pa je še bolj podoben originalnemu modelu 500.
So the front of the car is usually what identifies the vehicle, in this case the Fiat 500. Now, the Fiat 500 was born in 1957 with a car that had the engine in the back and therefore did not require any cooling in the front. So from the beginning we always had a brand identity, a face that did not need a typical conventional grille. Actually, you see a lot of companies these days struggling to transfer from a conventional grille that was designed as an air intake for a combustion engine to transfer over to an electric identity. We received our electric identity already in 1957. In 2007, with the second generation of the Cinquecento, the engine moved in the front, so there was need for cooling, but we were able to, with some clever packaging, to get the air mostly from the lower part and then a little bit here and here, maintaining the identity of a car without a grille, but very much identifiable because of that as a Fiat Cinquecento. Now in 2020, with the third and latest generation of the Cinquecento, we are kind of going full circle because again the engine does not require cooling, it's electric, and therefore we can now really again purify the front and have really play out this electric face of the Cinquecento that does not require cooling.
Novinca bo najlažje opaziti po izstopajočih detajlih. Prednja žarometa bosta seveda svetila v LED tehnologiji, a je svetlobni podpis vseeno zanimiv in neobičajen.
The lights of the new Fiat Cinquecento are one of my favorite details on the car because they have a really interesting new technology because there are two pieces. This part here, the DRL, is part of the hood. The main projector with this really intriguing infinity light is part of the lower part of the car. The reason we came up with this solution is we wanted to combine the feel of the 1957, because in 1957 the light was below this hood cut line and it gave the car a more serious look. And in 2007 the light became big, it looked very happy, very optimistic. And we wanted to combine these two worlds, the optimistic look of 2007, but with a little bit more seriousness to allow the car to grow up and be more mature. So we found this very unique solution, which is unique in the marketplace, and something we're extremely happy with because it gives this car this beautiful character of an eye with an eyebrow.
Zelo zanimivo rešitev pa so pri Fiatu našli tudi za stranska smernika.
Yeah, so this is a very unique feature we have on the new Cinquecento. It is an additional side indicator because it's very important that in traffic everyone knows if you want to turn, not only in the front here, but also for people who are behind you or on the side of the car. So we created this really clever design that also is a reference to the design of the 1957 with this kind of torpedo shape, and created again a very unique, very modern interpretation.
Tisti kupci, ki jim je avto več kot le prevozno sredstvo, pa bodo veseli še ene prav posebne novosti.
Well, the car is all about sustainability, it's all about connecting to nature. So when we designed the key for the car, we designed it in the shape of a stone to give you this connection with nature. It's beautiful to hold in your hand, something you can put around your neck if you want. You can still have a conventional key, but in reality this is all you need to enter the car and drive the car.
Povsem nov je 500e tudi v notranjosti. Glede na to, da je avto dimenzijsko večji, se to pohvalno občuti tudi v notranjosti. Če je bil doslej Fiat 500 idealen avto za manjše voznike, zdaj tudi višji ne bodo imeli več težav. V koraku s časom ponuja 500e povsem digitalne in lepo pregledne merilnike, povsem nov in spet občutno večji pa je tudi osrednji zaslon. Z njim se lahko poveže do 5 uporabnikov, hkratno delovanje pa ponuja 2. Apple CarPlay in Android Auto sta seveda serijska. Precej pozornosti pri snovanju novega 500e so pri Fiatu namenili tudi vožnji. Da ta ponuja kar se da odlično vozniško izkušnjo, gre do zahvale v prvi vrsti novi platformi, pa seveda tudi novemu vzmetenju, širšima kolotekoma in novi zadnji premi. A srce avtomobila je vseeno motor.
So what we have here? Here we have what we call the power electronics bay. This is just one box which includes 4 functions. We have the charger, the onboard charger, that allows the vehicle and the battery to be charged in AC current up to 11 kilowatt power. Then we have the DC-DC converter that allows to charge the low voltage battery, picking energy and power from the high voltage battery. Then we have the electronic controls that is important for the communication with the charging station when we will charge in DC fast charging with a direct connection for the power and current between the VCE, the charger station, and the battery. And then finally have the inverter, that is the component, the systems that can allow to drive and to control the e-motor. E-motor and differential, the reducer, is just behind these components. So on bottom side, it's just a little hidden in this moment and can allow us to have 220 Nm torque, 87 kW, granting 0-100 kph in 9 seconds with a maximum speed of 150 kph.
Baterijski sklop, ki se nahaja v dnu avtomobila in s tem ne krade prostora v kabini oziroma v prtljažniku, ponuja kapaciteto 42 kWh, kar naj bi zadostovalo za 320 km dosega. Vozniku so na voljo tudi 3 različni vozni programi.
We have 3 different driving modes. We have the normal mode, that is our baseline in terms of performance and pedal map, so the calibration of the responsiveness by the motor. Then we have the range that remain at the same level of acceleration and maximum speed, but introduce the functionality of the one pedal. So the driver can accelerate and decelerate the vehicle up to completely stop just using one pedal. The third mode that we have is the lower energy consumption mode that we call Sherpa, and in that case we introduce a limitation in power, a limitation in maximum speed, so it's limited to 80 kph, and we also turned off some auxiliary loads for the HVA system, for the windshield, the mirrors or the heat seats where there are. But for that one, the driver can turn on to force the logic and turn on if he wants.
In polnjenje? Na domači vtičnici bo mogoče povsem prazne baterije napolniti v približno 15 urah. Zato bosta bolj primerni preostali dve možnosti.
We do not have anymore the fuel, but we have in the same old location, we have the charging port. This is a combo CCS standard charging port. That means that we have both AC charging plug, type 2, and the DC charging socket. So this vehicle can be charged in both AC, mode 2, domestic, and mode 3, up to 11 kilowatt, as I told before, and also in DC fast charging up to 85 kilowatt. So the AC charging in 11 kilowatt from public charging station allow to charge from 0 to 100% the battery in around 4 hours. While the DC charging of 85 kilowatt can allow the 0-80% of the charging of the battery in 35 minutes.
Kaj povedati za konec? Ponudba električnih avtomobilov je iz dneva v dan večja. Tudi v Sloveniji lahko kupci izberejo velike ali majhne avtomobile oziroma tiste z manjšim ali večjim dosegom. S prihodom novega 500e pa se odpira nova kategorija, ko se praktičnosti in ekološki brezmadežnosti priključuje tudi oblikovna všečnost. Dame, se strinjate?